Have you ever wondered if following your doctor's advice is always the best path to living a long, healthy life? You might be surprised to learn that when you reach your 70s, blindly following medical instructions could do more harm than good. In today's video, we'll explore why it's crucial to question what your doctor says as you age and why taking a more active role in your health is essential for longevity. But that's not all. We'll also dive into why avoiding meat can speed up your aging process, and how something as simple as your daily eating habits can affect your health well into your 80s. If you're in your 70s or beyond, this video will give you the insights you need to make smarter, more informed decisions about your health, helping you avoid unnecessary treatments and improve your quality of life. Stay tuned to learn the real secrets to living a long and fulfilling life as you age. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. First, when you reach your 70s, it's better to abandon the idea of just following what the doctor says. There comes a point in life, especially when you reach your 70s, where you must face a harsh reality. Blindly following your doctor's instructions, assuming that it will ensure a long and healthy life, is no longer a viable or wise path to take. The truth, no matter how uncomfortable it may seem, is that doctors, while invaluable in treating specific ailments, are not necessarily longevity experts. They are brilliant in their fields, but they aren't necessarily equipped to see the bigger picture of your overall well-being over the long term. A respiratory specialist can work wonders for your lungs, a gastroenterologist can help you navigate digestive issues, and so on. But where I ask, is the doctor who can look at your entire body, the whole of who you are, and offer a plan for long, sustainable health? The reality is that there are very few, if any, doctors who can provide that comprehensive guidance. When you're younger, perhaps in your 40s or 50s, consulting a specialist about a particular organ or disease might make perfect sense. You go to a cardiologist to prevent heart attacks, or to a dermatologist to keep skin issues in check. But when you hit your 70s, everything changes. Your body is aging, and all your organs are gradually losing their vitality. It's not just about one part of your body anymore. It's about understanding how every piece of the puzzle fits together. If you only take the advice of one organ specialist, the organ they treat may improve, but what about the others? How do you know that focusing all your energy on one area won't inadvertently harm the rest of you? The truth is that following the narrow advice of specialists without considering the whole body could very well lead to a diminishing quality of life. You might end up facing treatments and surgeries that don't help, or worse, end up shortening your time here. So, my dear friend, when you reach your 70s, it's crucial to rethink your approach to healthcare. You cannot afford to take the doctor's words at face value anymore. This is especially true if you've been diagnosed with a serious illness or if you're seeing a high-ranking specialist. Say, a university professor or a world-renowned expert. Yes, these doctors know, but many of them lack the real-world experience of treating elderly patients. Their solutions might be too focused on fixing one issue while neglecting the bigger picture of your long-term health. So don't just sit there and nod, thinking that all will be well if you follow their every directive. You must take charge of your well-being. You have the right and the responsibility to ask questions. Does this advice truly serve me? Does it align with my hopes for my life in the years to come? Is it going to allow me to live the life I've always dreamed of in my later years? Don't be afraid to seek second opinions or even third opinions. Don't hesitate to do your research, to gather information, and to listen to what your own body is telling you. You're not a passive recipient in this process. You're an active participant. And remember, no matter how much respect we have for medical professionals, the ultimate decisions about your health and your life rest with you. Trust yourself. The path to living a long, fulfilling life is not found in blind obedience to any one person. no matter how accomplished they may be. It's found in a deep, honest understanding of yourself, your body, and the life you want to live. Keep your eyes wide open. You are the expert in your health, and that's something no doctor can ever take from you. Second, if you don't eat meat, the rate of aging accelerates. As we journey into our 70s, maintaining our health and vitality becomes an even more delicate balancing act. One of the most crucial aspects of aging gracefully, especially as we approach our 80s, is ensuring we stay motivated and maintain our physical functionality. These two factors are intimately connected. When motivation wanes, the aging process seems to speed up, everything begins to feel harder, and suddenly, the small actions that once made up our daily routine feel like monumental tasks. It's a heartbreaking truth, but without motivation, our activity levels dwindle, and with it, our physical and mental abilities start to fade faster than we'd like to admit. This gradual decline in motivation is not just a simple consequence of age, it's a sign that we've lost something vital. Something that, in our younger years, we took for granted. The will to keep going, to stay active, and to embrace the future with energy. We all know that exercise is important, but when the drive to exercise is lost, nothing else matters. And unfortunately, this is a reality many elderly people face. To stay healthy, to truly live, and not just exist, we have to find ways to keep that flame of motivation burning as long as we can. So, what can we do to fight this inevitable decline? How do we hold on to the drive that seems to slip through our fingers as we grow older? Surprisingly, one of the simplest yet most effective solutions might be something many of us have overlooked: eating meat. I know, this might sound counterintuitive to some. Many people in their later years believe that a vegetarian or plant-based diet is the healthiest option, thinking it will help their body age more gracefully. It's a mindset rooted in the desire to be light and free of the heavier, more taxing foods we associate with indulgence. But let me tell you this, it's not entirely true. The truth is, as we age, our bodies require more than just the simplicity of vegetables. We need the power and the sustenance that meat can provide. It's hard to accept, but in a lot of cases, avoiding meat can accelerate the aging process. Let's take a closer look at a crucial issue: protein deficiency. Studies show that a surprising number of elderly people, nearly 1 in 5, aren't getting enough protein in their diets. And this isn't just a minor problem. Protein is the building block of our muscles, our tissues, and even our moods. When you're not eating enough, your body starts to wither, your energy dips, and your drive to move, physically or emotionally, diminishes. This is particularly concerning in countries like Korea, where despite their relatively simple diet, people are still consuming only about 80 grams of meat a day. Far less than the average American, who eats around 300 grams. As you can see, this gap only widens as people get older, leading to an even greater risk of malnutrition and loss of vitality. But there's an even deeper connection between what we eat and how we feel. The relationship between serotonin and motivation. Serotonin, often called the happiness molecule, is essential for maintaining our mental and emotional well-being. It's the chemical that regulates our mood, boosts our sense of contentment, and keeps us feeling motivated. In our younger years, we might not think twice about it, but as we age, serotonin levels naturally begin to decrease. And when this happens, so does our ability to feel joy or motivation. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Can you remember the last time you woke up feeling energized, ready to take on the day, and excited for what was to come? That burst of enthusiasm is the result of serotonin working in our brains. But as we age, this feeling begins to fade. We might find ourselves feeling more irritable, more lethargic, or, worst of all, more disconnected from the world around us. That sense of youthful energy and emotional vitality starts to slip away, and it's easy to fall into depression, especially if our serotonin levels continue to drop unchecked. The good news, however, is that there's hope. It's possible to reverse this decline in serotonin production, even as we grow older. One of the most effective ways to do this is by simply eating meat. Yes, it's true. Meat, especially poultry, fish, and lean cuts of red meat, contains an amino acid called tryptophan, which is a precursor to serotonin. By consuming more tryptophan-rich foods, you can boost your serotonin levels naturally, helping to stabilize your mood, lift your spirits, and most importantly, maintain your motivation to keep moving forward. In my opinion, this isn't just about food, it's about nurturing your sense of self, your sense of purpose. Eating meat doesn't just provide nutrients. It's a way of telling your body and mind that you're worth the effort, that you deserve to feel good, to feel energized, and to keep striving. I don't want anyone to reach their 70s or 80s and feel like they've lost their zest for life. The simple act of eating meat could be the key to holding on to that spark, preventing the weight of aging from stealing your will to live fully. So, please, don't dismiss this as just another dietary suggestion. This is about staying connected to life itself. If you want to keep your motivation high, if you want to preserve your physical and emotional health, take a moment to reconsider what you're eating. Maybe it's time to add that extra serving of meat to your plate. It could be the difference between just surviving and truly living. Third, there is no need to fear becoming 80 years old. When you reach your mid-80s, there's no denying that life will be different. You'll likely find yourself needing help with the most basic tasks that once came so easily. But here's the thing, this is not something to fear, nor is it something to regret. The sooner you accept the inevitability of aging, the sooner you'll find peace in it. Otherwise, those extra 15 to 20 years of life could feel like an unbearable burden. Imagine this, a human lifespan of around 100 years. It sounds like a blessing, right? But, for many of us, the final years come with the unfortunate reality of lying in a sickbed, slowly waiting for the end. This isn't a grim thought, it's simply the truth of what most people face. It's the natural course of things. So why fight it? Why resist aging when, in the end, we all face it? Struggling against this inevitable change makes us feel as though we're constantly swimming upstream, which, if you think about it, is so unnatural. Once you cross the threshold of 80, I believe you don't need to look at yourself with disappointment or self-loathing. Instead, consider it a blessing to have lived this long. There's a unique peace that comes with knowing you've made it this far, without the misery of a long, drawn-out illness or tragic accident. Aging is not a curse, but a gift, a chance to pass through this stage of life gracefully, accepting it for what it is. And believe me, that acceptance can bring more contentment than you ever imagined. The real turning point comes in your 70s. That's when the fight is still on, and you can put in the effort to keep yourself healthy, vibrant, and strong. The 70s are the final opportunity to make a difference in how your body ages. It's like the last chance to prepare yourself for the years ahead. Every effort you make during this time, whether it's staying active, eating healthily, or keeping your mind sharp, will pay off, giving you a better quality of life as you step into your 80s. And it's not about looking young. It's about feeling strong, feeling capable, and living with purpose. There's no one right way to approach aging. Some people resist it, unwilling to give up their youthful appearance or energy. Others, like me, believe in letting nature take its course, not clinging to the past, but embracing the beauty of each stage. I think what matters most is that we live in a way that feels true to ourselves. But I would never underestimate the power of maintaining your health, even into your 80s. You may not be able to run marathons, but you can still walk, still engage, and still live with vitality. In the end, aging isn't just about the years that pass, but about how you face them. And if you can face aging with acceptance and grace, the process becomes far less scary. In the grand scheme of things, the efforts we make today, in our 70s, will define how we live in our 80s. The choices we make now echo into the future, shaping not just how we look, but how we feel and experience life. So don't fear the future. Embrace it, with every wrinkle and every silver strand of hair, knowing that the journey you're on is as beautiful as the person you've always been. Fourth, a lifestyle of just lying down doubles the rate of aging. As we grow older, one of the most tragic and unsettling realities is the way our bodies and minds start to change. For some elderly individuals, the daily routine becomes a life of simply lying down, too frail or tired to engage with the world. There are others, though, whose spirits remain vibrant even into their 80s, pursuing physical activities like walking, swimming, or even enjoying a round of golf. These individuals show us a powerful truth. As we age, the differences in how we experience life become starkly evident, especially when it comes to our physical and mental capacities. It's a hard truth to accept, but aging is not just about getting older. It's about how well we maintain our mind and body as time marches on. In a world where the elderly population is steadily increasing, we can already see the vast diversity that exists in aging. Some are active and sharp, while others face daily struggles simply to stand or think clearly. The aging process, it seems, isn't a singular experience but rather a spectrum, and as more people reach older ages, the gaps between the strong and the weak, the vibrant and the frail, will only grow wider. This widening gap will undoubtedly shape our future societies in ways we can't even fully predict, especially when it comes to health disparities. It's a sobering thought, but a necessary one to consider as we look toward the future. For younger people, the idea of lying in bed for a few days, due to illness or injury, is often not a cause for long-term concern. They can usually bounce back quickly, returning to their normal routine without much effort. But for the elderly, this simple act of rest can be disastrous. Just 10 days of inactivity can set off a chain reaction that weakens the body in ways that can't be easily undone. It's heartbreaking to realize that, as we age, even a brief period of being bedridden can accelerate the deterioration of both the body and the mind. Our muscles lose strength, our joints become stiff, and our cognitive abilities begin to fade at an alarming rate. That's why, for older adults, it's not just important, it's crucial to stay active, both physically and mentally. The human brain, much like the muscles in our body, requires exercise to stay sharp and alert. If we stop challenging our minds, they begin to wither just as our bodies do when we stop moving. And while it may feel like a battle at times, it's a battle we cannot afford to lose. In today's superaging society, where individual differences in health and ability are becoming more pronounced, the choices we make now to keep our bodies and brains engaged will dramatically affect our quality of life later on. Those who take the time to care for themselves, to stay active, and to stay sharp, will find themselves in a much better place in their later years. In a world where the gap between those who have maintained their health and those who haven't is growing wider, it's clear. The decisions we make about our health today will shape the way we live tomorrow. It's easy to forget, or even deny, the importance of staying active as we get older. But the truth is undeniable. A conscious effort to keep moving, to keep thinking, to keep engaging with the world, is not just a luxury. It's a necessity for anyone who wants to age with dignity and strength. We must all embrace this mindset, not just for our well-being, but for the future of society as a whole. Fifth, suddenly needing a caregiver may arise. As we reach our 70s, we often feel a sense of vitality that contrasts with how we imagined aging would feel. Yet there's an undeniable truth that comes with this phase of life. Despite what modern medicine and healthier lifestyles have achieved, the risks we face are unique to this age group. One of the most troubling and subtle dangers is the gradual, often unnoticed loss of motivation. It's a quiet thief, creeping into the soul, and it's something that can easily be underestimated. In your 40s or 50s, it might seem like you can live a relatively inactive life without too many immediate consequences. You can skip a few workouts, spend a little too much time on the couch, and still maintain some level of physical function. But in your 70s, the situation is drastically different. The body, once resilient, begins to deteriorate much faster when it's neglected. If you choose a sedentary lifestyle, letting your body and mind stagnate, you'll see the results more swiftly, and the impact is often irreversible. It's in these moments that the reality hits. If you don't keep moving, both mentally and physically, you risk sliding into the category of elderly individuals who desperately need caregivers. Many elderly people are aware of this fact deep down. They understand that they need to stay active and that their mind and body must remain engaged to stave off the inevitable decline. But, as anyone who's lived through the latter stages of life knows, this understanding doesn't always translate into action. When you're in your 70s, motivation becomes increasingly elusive. The zest for life begins to fade, and with it, the desire to exercise or engage in activities that stimulate the brain. The simple act of getting up and moving, which may have once been effortless, becomes a chore. It's heartbreaking. You know you should, you want to, but the willpower simply isn't there. The emotional toll of this loss of motivation can be devastating. You begin to withdraw, reluctant to leave your home, unwilling to meet friends, and distant from family. Every day, you find yourself isolating a little more, pushing away the very things that kept you alive and engaged in earlier years. Your body stiffens, your joints ache, and your mind, once sharp, becomes clouded. The aging process speeds up, not just physically, but emotionally, as the simple pleasures of life, the joy of a conversation, the excitement of a walk outside, become too difficult to summon. This slow retreat from life, if not addressed, can quickly turn into a harsh reality. It's why I urge anyone in their 70s to find something, anything, that motivates them to stay active. Even if it's just for an hour a day, move. It doesn't have to be a workout routine. A brisk walk, stretching, or simple tasks that get your blood flowing can make all the difference. The longer you wait to make that decision, the harder it becomes. It's not just about avoiding a caregiver. It's about preserving your dignity, your joy, and your sense of self. Letting go of that motivation might feel like a comfort in the moment, but it's a path that leads to a future filled with regret and, too often, dependence on others. Please, don't let that happen. Sixth, making habits in your 70s is key. In your 70s, building habits is not just important. It's crucial for preserving both your physical and mental vitality as you age. Many people, once they retire, experience a dramatic shift in their daily routines. When you're actively working, your day is naturally structured around tasks, which often keep you moving. Whether it's commuting, attending meetings, or even just getting up to make coffee. But once that routine disappears, there's a real risk of stagnation. Without the built-in physical and mental demands of work, it's so easy to fall into a sedentary lifestyle, and this can gradually wear down your body and mind. This is why consciously creating habits that promote movement and mental stimulation, becomes necessary. When you enter your 70s, the decisions you make about your habits will shape your life in profound ways. If you don't intentionally decide to stay active, you might wake up one day in your 80s and realize that your body has slowly given up on you, that you've stopped moving, and that you feel disconnected from the vibrant, active person you used to be. But the beautiful thing about habits is that once they are ingrained, they stick with you. A person who has made walking a regular part of their life in their 70s is likely to continue this habit even as they reach their 80s. The same goes for those who have developed a love for swimming, hiking, or even simple stretching. As long as their bodies allow, they'll keep going, and if they face limitations, they'll adapt. Perhaps finding gentler ways to stay active, but always moving forward. It's not just about exercise, either. The hobbies you cultivate now, whether it's painting, chess, writing, or reciting poetry, will continue to nourish your soul long into your 80s and beyond. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. There's something deeply fulfilling about having a purpose every day, even if it's as simple as a daily walk or practicing your favorite hobby. Those habits provide a sense of accomplishment and mental clarity, helping to preserve not just your body, but your sense of self. It's heartbreaking to see people lose themselves in retirement, disconnected from the activities that gave them purpose. But if you commit now to building meaningful habits, your 70s will become a time of immense personal growth and fulfillment, and those habits will carry you through the challenges that come with aging. The ultimate truth is that it's never too late to start, and every effort you make today will ripple into your future, ensuring that you live the most vibrant and engaged life possible, no matter what age you are. Seventh, there may come a time when you age all at once. As we age, we often think of the changes as gradual, like the slow fading of a sunset. But sometimes, aging hits us all at once, and the reality of it can feel overwhelming. In your 70s, life seems to intensify, and the risks you face are no longer abstract. They're tangible, sometimes frightening. It's not just the inevitable aches and pains, but the very real health risks that seem to pile up one after another. This is a time when our bodies, which once felt so resilient, can suddenly betray us. Health issues like chronic diseases, illnesses, or injuries from a simple fall can drastically change the course of our lives in an instant. For many, this stage marks a frighteningly swift decline. One day you feel relatively fine, and the next, you're facing something serious. Cancer, stroke, and other life-threatening conditions become more common, and the prospect of being struck by one of these harsh realities becomes something that looms over you every day. What once felt like a simple part of growing older, slower walking, forgetting a name, can suddenly feel like a signal that your body is giving up on you. The fear of losing your health, and by extension, your independence, becomes very real. But there's another, less obvious danger that many overlook: depression. It doesn't announce itself with a loud cry, but instead creeps in quietly, like a shadow that slowly darkens the doorway. Depression in your 70s isn't just about feeling sad or down. It's about losing your drive to live, to connect, to engage. When the weight of sadness, frustration, or anxiety becomes too heavy, it's easy to retreat into yourself, avoiding social interactions and skipping the things you once enjoyed. Even something as simple as meeting with old friends at a hobby group or visiting a familiar elderly shelter can feel like an impossible task. You stop going, not because you want to, but because you feel like you can't muster the energy or motivation to do so. This is when the need for self-care becomes even more critical. It's not just about tending to your physical health, though that, too, is undeniably important, but also about taking care of your mental well-being. Without addressing the emotional side of aging, everything else becomes harder to manage. This is why it's so vital to protect your mental health fiercely in your 70s. Sometimes that means saying no to relationships or situations that drain you, even if they're familiar. Don't be afraid to remove toxic or unpleasant people from your life, or to distance yourself from gatherings that make you feel more isolated than connected. In these moments, I believe it's essential to remember that it's okay to prioritize yourself. It's okay to put your emotional and physical well-being first. Yes, the aging process can be daunting, but it also brings with it an opportunity to take control in new ways, to protect what matters most: your peace, your health, and your joy. Aging may come with challenges, but we don't have to face them alone or without the tools to fight back. Your 70s are the last chance to fight against aging. When we step into our 70s, it's as though we've reached the final frontier in the battle against aging. It's in these years that the way we live will either empower us to age with grace or leave us struggling in the face of inevitable decline. The truth is, the decisions you make in your 70s will have a profound impact on how you experience the later years of your life. If you want to spend the long, precious years of your elderly life not just surviving but truly living, it starts with your 70s. This is when everything matters. Maintaining your brain health well into your 80s, for example, is crucial, but just as important is preserving your physical vitality as long as you can. And here's the heartbreaking truth: it's all about the choices you make now. Up until your early 70s, fewer than 10% of people experience severe cognitive decline like dementia. Most are still active and engaged with life. But once you start facing injury or illness in these years, the story can shift dramatically. However, if you manage to stay healthy, avoiding serious setbacks, you'll be amazed at how vibrant and active you can remain, even as you pass through your 70s. It's within your power. It's all about living intentionally. If you choose to live with purpose and effort, you can hold on to both physical and mental vitality for far longer than you might expect. This is not just about avoiding a nursing home or care facility. It's about maintaining your independence, your self-respect, and your joy for as long as possible. The beauty of your 70s is that it gives you the final opportunity to shape your future. This decade is the launchpad to a smoother, healthier landing into your 80s. But here's something I need you to understand deeply. This isn't about waging a relentless war against aging. Please, don't mistake what I'm saying. I'm not here to preach some unachievable ideal where you fight the inevitable forever. That would only lead to disappointment. With all the modern advances in anti-aging medicine, it's possible to remain youthful and active well into your 70s. But there's a truth that no one can deny. After your 80s, the natural process of aging starts to take its inevitable course. You cannot stop it, no matter how much you wish to. We live in an era where lifespans are extending, and we're being blessed with the opportunity to live to 100 or beyond, but this requires a shift in perspective. Aging needs to be seen as a two-part journey. Fighting the inevitable in your 70s with everything you have, and then, with grace and acceptance, embracing aging after 80. I need you to hear this with all the compassion in my heart. No matter how hard you fight, you'll reach a point where you have to accept aging. Resisting that truth will only lead to frustration, bitterness, and the kind of stress that accelerates the very process you want to avoid. Embrace the wisdom that comes with age instead of chasing an impossible illusion of eternal youth. But here's the silver lining. Your 70s give you a fighting chance. You still have time. You can still make a difference. From here on, I'm going to share 4 essential strategies, gathered from my 30 years of working in elderly medical care, to help slow down the aging process as much as possible. I truly believe these insights can make a significant difference in your life. I hope that they'll guide you to a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling old age. One where you can look back and smile at all you've achieved, and all the strength you've carried with you. Let's dive into these secrets together, and start this journey towards aging with dignity, vitality, and grace. First, never retire no matter what. The lifestyle you lead in your 70s holds immense significance, more than many realize. It's not just about staying active, but also about maintaining a quality of life that will see you through your 80s and beyond. Your 70s can be a golden opportunity. Your final window to delay the inevitable decline that comes with age, to preserve your health, and to safeguard your independence. It's in this crucial period that you hold the power to shape how your later years will unfold. In this first chapter, I want to delve into the lifestyle choices people in their 70s should be mindful of. Although some environments indeed allow people to continue working past retirement, through options like extending retirement or finding re-employment, let's not sugarcoat the reality. For many, reaching the 70s marks the point when they decide to retire, to slow down, and exit the working world entirely. But here's the painful truth. For many, this moment of retirement isn't just a transition into a well-deserved rest. It often becomes the point where everything starts to unravel. It's as if, at the end of their professional lives, they lose a sense of purpose and direction. They've worked hard all their lives, and so they look forward to retirement as a time to finally relax and enjoy the fruits of their labor, to take things slow, to laze around at home. But what many don't realize is that the act of ceasing all work, of halting all activities, is a silent killer of vitality, a slow and steady erosion of the self. Those who retire without giving much thought to what comes next often experience a rapid and dramatic aging process. While you're working, even the simplest tasks, like sitting at a desk or taking a few steps to a meeting, are forms of physical activity. It's easy to overlook, but when you retire and suddenly find yourself stuck at home, weeks of inactivity begin to take their toll. After just a month of sitting around, you'll notice it. Your muscles become weaker, your body stiffens, and suddenly, even getting out of bed feels like a chore. It's not just your body that begins to decline, though. Your mind, starts to slow down too. When you're at work, even the mundane tasks require intellectual engagement. You're interacting with others, problem-solving, responding to challenges, and even having a few laughs along the way. These things stimulate your brain. But when you withdraw to the safety of home, your cognitive functions start to diminish. The risk of dementia escalates, and one of the most vulnerable areas of your brain, the frontal lobe, ages rapidly. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The frontal lobe is the very heart of who we are. It's where our creativity lies, our ability to empathize, and our capacity to navigate life's uncertainties. As this part of the brain deteriorates, you lose that spark of motivation, the desire to move, to explore, to engage with the world. It's a slow and painful descent into apathy, and it only accelerates with the neglect of both body and mind. The physical toll is no less devastating. As your muscles atrophy and your movements become more sluggish, you lose that energy, that vitality that makes you feel alive. The joyful, energetic person you once were gives way to someone unrecognizable, an elderly shell of your former self. I cannot stress enough how important it is to prepare for what comes after retirement. If you're thinking about retiring, please don't wait until you've already leaped to start planning. Retirement shouldn't be a sudden void. It should be a chapter of your life where you continue to grow, to move, to challenge yourself. If you step away from work without a sense of purpose or a new project to focus on, you might find yourself swept up by the inertia of life, falling into passive habits that only hasten the decline of both your body and mind. It's crucial to remember that even in your 70s, your body is still relatively healthy. But the aging of your brain has likely been quietly progressing since your 40s. The decisions you make now can either preserve your vitality or cause irreversible damage. The clock is ticking, and the time to act is now. Second, the best medicine to slow aging is continuing to work. It's often said that the secret to aging gracefully lies in the ability to keep moving, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. One of the most powerful tools for slowing the aging process, surprisingly, is continuing to work well into old age. There's something deeply rejuvenating about staying engaged, having a purpose, and contributing to the world around you, no matter your age. And this isn't just a whimsical belief. It's backed by data, with real-life examples that highlight how work can truly be the best medicine for aging. Take Nagano, for instance. This region, once known for having a relatively low life expectancy, has become a beacon of longevity. It's hard not to be struck by the transformation that occurred around 1975 when the average life expectancy for men in Nagano first surpassed the national average. Since then, Nagano has consistently ranked among the top prefectures in Japan for life expectancy. In 1990, it even claimed the top spot, with women following suit in 2010. These remarkable figures aren't just numbers. They reflect something profound about the way we live. Nagano's secret isn't just in the food they eat or the air they breathe. It's in the work they do, even as they age. According to the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare's 2017 data, 41.6% of men in Nagano remain employed, and 21.6% of women continue working well into their later years. That's a stark contrast to many other parts of the world, where retirement often means isolation and stagnation. The fact that so many people in Nagano stay engaged with work well past the typical retirement age speaks volumes. It's not just about earning money. It's about maintaining a sense of purpose, a reason to get up in the morning, and the kind of mental and physical activity that keeps the body vibrant and the mind sharp. Staying active in work keeps the muscles moving, the heart pumping, and the mind alert, all of which play an integral role in staving off the physical and cognitive decline that often accompanies old age. It's clear, work isn't just about survival. It's about living. This connection between work and longevity is also visible in Okinawa, a region famously associated with the Blue Zone and the world's longest-lived people. Okinawans have long been admired for their health and vitality, but the truth is more complex than it might seem. While Okinawa's women continue to lead the nation in life expectancy, ranking 7th among all prefectures, the men's average life expectancy lags far behind, ranked 32nd, below the national average. It's a surprising statistic, especially given the region's reputation. But when you dig deeper, it becomes apparent that the discrepancy can largely be attributed to employment rates. While many Okinawan women stay actively engaged in community work and caregiving roles throughout their lives, Okinawan men often experience earlier retirement or isolation in their later years, which seems to correlate with a shorter life expectancy. It's a stark reminder that aging isn't just a matter of genetics or environment. It's deeply influenced by the choices we make, including the decision to remain active and engaged with life through work. Whether you're in Nagano, Okinawa, or anywhere else, the message is clear. Working, staying engaged, and finding purpose beyond retirement can be the key to not just surviving old age, but thriving in it. While some may shy away from the idea of working in later years, I believe that there's a certain dignity in it, a reminder that our value doesn't diminish with age, but rather it can evolve and grow in new ways. Third, decrease in male and female hormones is fatal to aging. As we age, one of the most devastating forces at play is the gradual loss of motivation, a silent thief that steals our desire to engage with life. This decline, in many ways, is more perilous than any disease or injury we may face. It's easy to focus on the outward signs of aging, graying hair, wrinkling skin, but the truth is, it's the invisible internal changes that have the most profound impact on our quality of life. For both men and women, the decline in hormones, particularly male hormones, is an undeniable and often overlooked factor that accelerates this process. It's a painful reality that the atrophy of the brain's frontal lobe, the part responsible for motivation, decision-making, and creative thinking, begins subtly in our 40s, but by the time we hit our 70s, the effects are impossible to ignore. Our motivation begins to fade, and with it, our drive to live fully. Men experience an additional challenge as their testosterone levels drop, further contributing to this sense of apathy. It's heartbreaking to think that the very spark that once drove us to pursue passions, meet new people, and push ourselves in life slowly diminishes, sometimes without us even realizing it. For me, the loss of motivation is the most frightening part of aging. It's like an insidious shadow that creeps into your mind, slowly convincing you that you're too old, too tired, or too unimportant to keep striving. It doesn't matter how much you try to keep your body active or your mind sharp. Without motivation, everything becomes a chore. The simplest tasks seem daunting, and suddenly, everything that once brought joy and fulfillment feels like a burden. Without motivation, we cease to function at our fullest potential, and in the cruelest of ironies, the very thing that keeps us alive, our desire to keep moving, keep learning, and keep growing, fades into the background. The most heartbreaking part is that this decline becomes especially pronounced in our 70s. It's a time when our bodies and minds are most vulnerable, and the loss of motivation becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's easy to withdraw, to avoid challenges, to tell yourself that it's too late now. But that's when it's crucial to fight, to reconnect with the energy we once had, and to revive those parts of us that made us feel alive. The frontal lobe, which governs so much of our motivation, creativity, and mental energy, can be activated through specific exercises, mental stimulation, and lifestyle changes. And while male hormones might never fully return to their youthful levels, maintaining what we have left through healthy habits, exercise, and a fulfilling social life is essential for staving off this mental decline. For women, the decline in hormones presents a different, but equally devastating challenge. The drop in estrogen can lead to osteoporosis, weakening bones and making everyday movements dangerous. But it doesn't stop there. As hormones decrease, many women also experience a decrease in appetite and energy, leading to unintentional weight loss, not from losing fat, but from losing muscle. This muscle loss can leave them feeling weaker and more prone to depression, exacerbating the aging process. It's like you wake up one day and realize that you're a shadow of your former self, physically and mentally. The emotional toll is enormous, as the body you once knew begins to betray you in ways you never imagined. This decline in hormones, and this gradual loss of vitality, makes the idea of aging so much more intimidating. But it's not just the physical changes we need to consider. By the time we're in our 70s, chronic diseases become more prevalent, and they often go hand in hand with the mental and emotional toll of aging. Our ability to care for ourselves diminishes, and we face a choice: rely on modern medicine to help us navigate these challenges, or resign ourselves to the inevitable decline. There's no easy answer, and it's a question that often haunts me when I think about my future. Will I still have the energy to enjoy life, to love, to thrive, or will I succumb to the passivity that seems to overtake so many? It's not just health that becomes more fragile as we enter our 70s. Our daily lives also become fraught with risk and change. In a world where society is growing older and retirement ages continue to rise, many people will find themselves needing to care for aging parents or, tragically, facing the loss of loved ones. This shift is more than just a logistical challenge. It's an emotional upheaval that can leave you feeling lost. The midlife crises that once seemed like the biggest hurdle to overcome might now seem like a distant memory. The crises of the 70s are more profound, shaking us to the core as we face the realities of mortality, loss, and the changing nature of our relationships. The way we respond to these challenges may well determine how we experience the final decades of our lives. Will we allow ourselves to become resigned to the inevitability of aging, or will we rise above it? The way we navigate these crises will shape the kind of life we lead in our later years. It's a delicate balance between accepting the changes that come with aging and holding on to the parts of ourselves that still have the power to dream, desire, and live with purpose. Fourth, how to develop exercise habits in your 70s. As we enter our 70s, one of the most crucial aspects of maintaining a healthy, fulfilling lifestyle is nurturing our ability to stay active. At this stage of life, many people are still capable of moving relatively freely, which is a blessing that shouldn't be overlooked. It's a fleeting window of time, and how we use it will significantly impact our health in our later years. The simple act of moving your body, whether it's taking a walk, stretching, or just standing up and shifting your weight, can mean the difference between maintaining mobility well into your 80s or feeling more restricted as time goes on. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. However, there's a bittersweet truth. Once you reach your 70s, staying motivated to exercise becomes more challenging. The drive to keep moving can wane, and what once felt like an easy task may start to feel like an overwhelming effort. It's not uncommon for people to experience a sense of reluctance or even frustration at the thought of moving their bodies regularly. This can feel like an emotional burden, especially when you begin to notice that your body isn't as resilient as it once was. But let me be clear, this is precisely when it becomes most important to stay conscious of your exercise habits. The key, however, is moderation. While exercise is vital, it's crucial to avoid overexertion, particularly as you grow older. Some people may think that pushing themselves harder, perhaps running marathons or spending hours at the gym, is beneficial. And while physical activity is undeniably good for the body, excessive exercise in your 70s can have the opposite effect. Straining yourself too much can weaken your body rather than strengthen it, and there's always the risk of injury. It's so important to listen to your body and understand its limits, because if you don't, you may find yourself paying the price later. Moreover, intense exercise can accelerate aging by oxidizing the body. This is something that's often overlooked in the quest for fitness. So, contrary to what we might think, lighter, more gentle exercise is far more effective. The beauty of simple activities like walking is that they are low impact yet profoundly beneficial. Walking is the perfect exercise for those in their 70s, allowing you to move at your own pace, without feeling pressured or overwhelmed. The simple act of putting one foot in front of the other, day after day, brings both physical and mental rewards. And here's something else that's often overlooked. When you step outside and walk in the sunlight, you're not just benefiting your body, you're feeding your soul. Sunlight triggers the production of serotonin, that wonderful feel-good hormone that lifts your mood and makes you feel more energized. Serotonin plays a crucial role in keeping you mentally youthful, enhancing your motivation, and, ultimately, helping you embrace life with a more positive outlook. The combination of moving your body and enjoying the natural world around you is a recipe for both physical and emotional well-being. In your 70s, it's easy to fall into habits where you start avoiding physical challenges, like opting for the elevator over the stairs. But maintaining your exercise function is about more than just avoiding discomfort. It's about pushing yourself just a little every day. Whether you're consciously choosing the stairs or making an effort to walk an extra block, every little decision to stay active counts. And with each step, you're not just improving your body, you're reclaiming your vitality. So, let's be honest. This is one of the most precious gifts you can give yourself in your 70s. Moving your body isn't just a matter of physical health. It's about feeling strong, capable, and connected to life. It's about embracing every moment and letting that joy flow through your veins. Trust me, the effort is always worth it, and the rewards are immeasurable. As we've discussed today, maintaining a healthy lifestyle in your 70s isn't just about staying active. It's about making mindful choices that benefit both your body and mind. From understanding the importance of consistent, moderate exercise to embracing the small, everyday habits that keep us moving, there's so much we can do to live our best lives at any age. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned from today's video that you're going to bring into your daily routine? Is it about making exercise a regular habit or simply stepping outside to enjoy some sunlight? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to live healthier, more active lives. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, hit that like button, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips on aging gracefully and staying healthy. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.